Oilbirds are nocturnal birds that spend the day inside dark caves, then leave after sunset to feed in tropical forests where ripe fruit is available across the canopy. At first glance, they may look like oversized brown nightjars, but their life is very different from most birds people see around forests, wetlands, farms, or fields. They live in parts of northern South America and Trinidad, using cave systems, steep gorges, and forested valleys as shelter during the daylight hours in breeding season. Inside these caves, oilbirds gather in loud colonies, resting on narrow ledges where the air is damp, the floor is uneven, and very little natural light reaches the walls. Their reddish-brown feathers, pale spotting, large eyes, and wide mouth all fit a bird that moves, feeds, and returns home mostly in low light instead of bright daytime, with a body built for steady flight rather than quick ground movement. Unlike owls, oilbirds do not hunt mice, frogs, or insects in darkness, and they are not built around silent attacks on moving prey in open air. Their diet is mainly fruit, especially oily fruits from palms and tropical trees, which they swallow whole during night feeding trips through the forest canopy. That fruit-heavy diet makes them important to forests because many seeds pass through them and can be dropped far from the parent tree in new growing areas. When evening comes, the cave colony becomes more active, with birds shifting on ledges, stretching their wings, and moving toward the darker tunnel paths that lead outside. In total darkness, oilbirds use sharp clicking sounds for echolocation, helping them avoid cave walls, rock columns, ledges, and other birds in flight through crowded passages where a wrong turn could mean hitting stone. These clicks are different from many bat calls because people can hear a lot of them, especially when a crowded cave is full of calling birds. Oilbirds still depend strongly on eyesight outside the cave, where their large, sensitive eyes help them travel through dim forest after sunset and locate fruiting trees without daylight. Once they leave the entrance, they can fly long distances over forested slopes, river valleys, and fruiting trees before returning close to dawn as the cave quiets again. During feeding, an oilbird may hover briefly or cling near a branch, then grab ripe fruit with its bill and swallow it whole without tearing it apart. They are not delicate little fruit pickers. They are fairly large birds with strong wings, long tails, and enough stamina for repeated night flights across rough terrain. Parents nest on cave ledges, building simple mound-like nests from regurgitated material, droppings, and plant matter that hardens and builds up over time. Females usually lay a small clutch, and both parents are involved in raising chicks deep inside the cave, surrounded by the movement and sounds of the colony. Oilbird chicks become unusually fat while growing because their parents bring them rich fruit pulp packed with oils and energy from tropical trees night after night until the young are ready to leave the ledge. That stored fat once made young oilbirds valuable to people, which is where the English name oilbird comes from in the first place. Even though they nest in dark caves, they are not helpless there. The colony setup gives many birds a shared shelter that few predators enter easily. Still, cave life has risks, including falling chicks, crowded ledges, flooding in some cave systems, and disturbance when people enter breeding areas too closely. Outside the cave, the risks change, with snakes, mammals, raptors, and changing forest conditions all affecting how safely they can feed, travel, and return. Their dependence on both caves and healthy fruiting forest makes them vulnerable when either nesting shelter or feeding habitat is damaged, blocked, or cut off by heavy disturbance. Some colonies are protected because they are famous natural sites, but protection only works well when the surrounding forest is also kept intact and connected. Oilbirds show how a bird can be highly specialized without being a hunter, a songbird, or a bright daytime species in the upper canopy. Their mix of cave nesting, echolocation, fruit feeding, and long night travel makes them one of the most unusual birds alive today. At night, their role is quiet but important, moving seeds across forests, while most people never see the work happening above the ground or along the valleys. A good oilbird habitat needs dark nesting space, safe cave entrances, and enough fruiting trees spread across the wider landscape around the colony throughout the year. When those pieces stay connected, oilbirds can leave the cave after sunset, feed across the forest, and return before daylight to raise the next generation. The oilbird is not famous because it is colorful or fierce, but because its whole life is built around darkness, fruit, caves, and sound.